So this is my first YouTube video, so bear with me because I'm still learning the ropes, still learning how to get through making videos and vlogging. I have not been consistent with my vlogging, which a lot of people are saying, like, Pep, you need to jump out and just do what you need to do, because I feel like if you do YouTube and you talk more, you will be somebody that people want to listen to. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and start my YouTube channel. So today is my first day of making a YouTube. So now I want to talk about a few things, because when I first started my YouTube, I didn't know which direction I was headed. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about, really. I didn't know where I wanted to start or how I wanted to start. But I started researching a little more into YouTube to figure out what steps do I want to take and what message do I really want to send to you guys. And the biggest message I really want is to connect skincare to mental health, but to also talk about lifestyle topics, talk about being a mom, talk about being an entrepreneur, me graduating from SD school, starting a new career. Those are the things that I feel like I want to talk about. So let's get started. All right. The biggest portion of my life right now is me moving to a new state. I just moved to Dallas, Texas in March of 2022, at the end of March. So pretty much April. And I came here from Detroit to go to school, to start a new life for my daughter. Me and my daughter is 4 now. But when we moved here, she was 3. So it took a lot of courage and strength for me to leave everything that I had already established back home and come to a new place with absolutely nothing. No car, no place to stay, no family, not a lot of friends, not a lot of people that I knew to come here. When I first got here in Dallas, I stayed in 2 different hotels. The first hotel was Sonesta Select, which I personally love that hotel. I ran into some issues when I first got here, which immediately discouraged me. I was like, oh my God, this is probably the worst decision I have ever made in my life. Like, I got my kid, I don't have nowhere to go. Like, what am I gonna do? So I ended up booking through a third-party app for me to be able to stay in this hotel. And I went on ahead and I stayed in the hotel still. They were able to find my reservation and everything that I had booked. But it was the fact that as soon as I moved here, I ran into an issue. So I was like, I was devastated. Moving her along, I stayed in that hotel for a few days. That was a really good hotel. It was super duper clean, super friendly. Like, the people were very supportive. And everybody pretty much minded their business. So I like that too. After my time staying there, I ended up moving to extended stay, which was in the heart of Dallas. It's in North Dallas, on Greenville in the freeway. I stayed over there. When I first got there, it wasn't that bad. I think I was just overthinking it because I was in a new place and I was like really nervous. But when I got there, it was cool. The people at the front desk were very friendly. I ended up getting the room with the refrigerator and everything like that. So I had been there from April to July. Yeah, July. From April to July, right before I started school is when I was there. I started working at Whole Foods. I was waiting to start school. School didn't start till July 18th. So I was waiting to start school, and it was just a nice little wait. It probably was about a week and a half wait after I left. But I left the hotel because I genuinely didn't like the environment for my daughter. I felt like it was too expensive. It was way too much going on. I did not want to stay somewhere where I literally was working to live. I was getting a $700 check and $600 of it was going to the room that I was staying in. And I had to ask for additional time to be able to pay because my checks was coming every 2 weeks. So I started to think about it from a more logical standpoint. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I have to provide for my daughter, and it was getting so stressful. I was catching a bus clean across town to drop her off for daycare. That was about a 2.5 hour, ride. I was catching a bus at 4 in the morning over there, all the way to Carrollton, leaving Carrollton, coming all the way back towards the hotel because my job was up the street. So it was just really stressful. And I saw my finances not getting no better. I felt like my finances were plummeting. I wasn't able to save. I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do. After that, I was like, maybe I should just leave and take a leap of faith and do what I need to do. So I took a huge leap of faith, and I basically told the hotel that this is my last week here. It's time for me to go because it's just too much. So the guy who was the manager at the counter, he was asking me like, what's going on? Like, you think, like, do you need any help? Things like that. And I was just telling him like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do this on my own. I want to figure this out. Like, it's fine. I can't stay here. I can't afford it. Even if you was to help me now, you would not help me moving forward. Like, that's a lot of money to cut off of the expense for the hotel for me. It's cool. I'm not worried about it. I cried. I prayed about it. I wrote some things down. I didn't know what I was finna do, but I called around a few places looking for shelters. And I eventually found a nice shelter downtown that I actually like, which it was cool when I talked to the people, it was cool. But when I got there, for the small amount of time that I was there, it wasn't good. It was like really detrimental to my mental health. My daughter was exposed to things that I didn't think she would be exposed to. She had to see stuff that I didn't want her to see. I had to see stuff that I didn't want to see. I felt like I was a bad parent at that moment. Like, at that moment, I was really contemplating like, Pep, either you're going to get us out of here, or we're going to have to go back home. And in my mind, I just really didn't want to go back home because I had just applied for school before I moved here for me to be able to go. And I was approved and everything was paid for. I was set to go. So I'm like, I might as well just thug it out and see what happens. In the process of thugging it out and seeing what happened, I had reached out to a few people that I met here in Dallas when I first moved here, because I was doing locks out of the room to keep money in my pocket. I was working. I was doing what I needed to do so that I could feed my child and keep a roof over her head while I was trying to figure out my next move. So the people that I had met and the people that I was cool with, I ended up reaching out to. Remind you, one of the people I reached out to was my Nini, who is now my Nini. But one of the people I reached out to was a dark bus driver who ran the bus line that I was catching to take my daughter to Carrollton. So at 4 in the morning every day, I was getting on the bus going to take my baby. And in the process of me doing that, I met someone on the bus who I clicked with very, very well. She was an older lady. She was really sweet, really friendly. Every time I got on the bus, she would talk to me. She would ask about Yaya. She gained a relationship with me and my daughter from me catching a bus every day. In the process of that, I reached out to her. And when I was reaching out to her, I was just asking if she knew any shelters that I could go to that would be safer for me and my daughter, because I didn't want to be in there. She ended up texting me back and asking me where I was. I ended up explaining my situation, talking to her about a few things, letting her know basically that I just need help to be able to get to where I'm trying to get, because I have a job, I can work, and I can get enough money to take us to a cheaper hotel. I just need to be at this shelter for a small period of time because I need to save money. And I can't save anything, and I'm about to start school. And I was just going through a whole lot of different things. And I just was telling her how I was feeling. So in the process of me telling her that, she ended up opening up her doors to me and my daughter. She told us, hey, you can come here. I'm thinking it was only going to be for a couple weeks. It ended up being like 6 months. Okay. Like a couple weeks turned into 6 months. And I was just like, praying to God, like, I don't know what this is or what's going on. Like, I was having faith in God, knowing that God was in my corner, praying every day, crying every day, depressed every day, not wanting to eat, not wanting to sleep. Like, I was just all over the place. And so when she told me, like, you can come here, and I told her, I said, give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks or 4 weeks. I will be out of your place. Like, just give me 2.5 weeks to 4 weeks. I'm going to save my checks and I'm going to get up out of here so that I can at least pay for a month at a time at the new hotel that I'm going to. Well, God had a bigger plan for me. And it was crazy because I really wasn't expecting things to go the way it went, because I have a lot of other details that happened before this situation happened, but I'm going to leave those details out. And the reason why is because they are not relevant to the blessings that God gave me. Honestly, at this moment in my life, even after the situation, I still think about it and I still go through my own problems with it. But I realize that at the end of the day, when people are in your life, they're in your life for a time, season, or a purpose. My Nini taught me reason, season, lifetime. In the process of me living with her, she did a lot of like mental health things with me. Help basically just keep me in a very stable mindset, because literally when I say every day I was crying, every single freaking day I was crying. Like, it was never a day that went by that I wasn't sad, I wasn't depressed, I wasn't stressed, I wasn't crying. Like, every single day I was crying. And then by the 4th week of me saying that I was gonna leave, she offered me to stay permanently. I had finally saved up a couple dollars to be able to leave, and I was ready to go. Well, God had another plan for me. So with me being there, I ended up being offered to stay there and go to school. Remind you, stay there rent free with my 3-year-old at the time child, as well as going to school daily. So I'm kind of feeling like as I keep going, y'all are going to realize like where I'm going with this. So I stayed there for the first few months, and I can honestly say, like, I was on pins and needles. I didn't want to come out the room. I didn't want to really talk. I was trying to be gone, out of the house, not just sitting in there. And she finally let me know, like, hey, you don't have to be, I know you on pins and needles in here, but you don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt your kid. Like, I'm not trying to, do anything that's going to make you uncomfortable. So just know you're in a safe place and you're fine. So I did the best that I could while I was there, cleaning up, making sure I could do the things that I could do. If I had any money to give, I would give it. If I had, little money here and there, I would share it. I wouldn't hold on to a lot. And when I say like I'm on this YouTube with y'all right now, I literally have been broke. I can honestly say down to like 20 cents or, down to, it's hard to even talk about, because it's bringing tears to my eyes, because I have been down for, I'm talking months. Like, since I moved to Dallas, the most I have probably had in my pocket was when I first got here. When I first got here in March, from March to May. I'm sorry, y'all. This is very big for me to even be sharing like what I'm going through and the things that I've been through on social media at all. But I feel like I need to say this, because I feel like what I'm going through, somebody else could possibly be going through right now, or they've been through it and they know what it feels like. Literally for months, I have been down to nothing. When I say down to nothing, I've had to ask for money from my family. I've had to borrow money and pay it back. I've done things, sold things to try to keep myself afloat while staying here, and it's been hard. I've gotten out here and hustled, you know what I'm saying, to keep just enough money in my pocket to be able to feed my child. And I've been able to do a lot because I didn't have rent. I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't, have a car or anything like that. But every single day I got up and I got on a train and I got on a bus so that I could do the things that I needed to do, and the biggest thing was graduating school. The biggest thing was finishing school. And I feel like me being in school for a year, because I was in school 6 months back home before I got here, and then I came here and I skipped 2 months, but I went right back to school afterwards, which made it a year. So I've been in school for a year for esthetician, and the first 6 months was in cosmetology because I felt like that was what I needed to do. I have a point with where I'm going with this, but I didn't. Honestly, I settled for what I wanted to do because I thought that was the way into skincare and the way into the skin life and doing what I wanted to do. Of course, as a cosmetologist, you can be more than one thing. You don't have to just do hair. They teach you a lot of different things. It's not the same as esthetician. Like, esthetician is a totally different spectrum. That's strictly just skin. And I wanted to learn skincare because that's what I love to do. So that 6 months I was in cosmetology, it helped, but it didn't help for real in what I really needed to know. So I went to school another 6 months here in Dallas, and I just completed that program January 20th. And I can say this. During my time of staying with my Mimi, and that's, my Mimi is like my godmommy, grandma, whatever. That's my Mimi, okay? My Mimi pushed me to a point where I was able to finish. I had moments where I broke down. I had moments where I was at school and I didn't want to be there. I had moments where life was just beating my ass. It was just like, okay, life is lifing. I need a break. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a break. I went through a lot of different challenges in my time of being in school. I lost my grandmother, which is my mother's mom. I lost her. I lost a good friend of mine that was back home that I seen every single day. I did his locks. I started his hair. I talked to him every single day, and I ended up losing him. That was very hard for me to deal with. I fell out with a few friends, a few family members that I held very close to me, and I still hold close to me. I just have to love them from a distance now. And me moving was a big leap for me because my daughter has never been anywhere outside of Canada or Tennessee or Detroit. Like, she's never been anywhere outside of that. But me, I've been to Cali. I've been to New York. I'm from New York. I'm from Detroit. I have 2 homes. I've been to Cali. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Arizona. I've been to all these different states, but I never moved with my kid. That's the difference. So having a kid and moving to a new state was very hard for me. And I can honestly say my Nimi held me down. Like, she held me down completely. Now my life is shifting into another level, and I am here for it. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Like, it's been a very stressful journey, and I don't think people realize how stressful it really can be, being a single parent, being a single mom. And then I'm also an LGBT mom. I'm a lesbian, and I've been a lesbian for a minute now. So it's hard, you know, raising your daughter by yourself and just moving to a new place and finding out things that you didn't know about yourself. Like, a lot of people don't realize that you don't know who you are until you take steps or go through experiences that you've never been through. And I can honestly say, having faith in a stranger, somebody who I didn't know, just having that faith and knowing that I was going to be okay, and God sending somebody in my life to help push me to this point of where now I have a career. I am an esthetician. I finished school. I'm scheduling state boards, and I'm getting ready for my next step in my life. And it is difficult. It is hard, you know, but I feel like at the end, you're always going to find your tribe. You have to be ready for the people that come and the people that's going to go. In life, you don't never know what the next experience is going to be. So you just have to take it one day at a time. And my Mimi taught me to take it one day at a time. It took me a long time to get to this point mentally to where I could take it one day at a time. And I could be thankful for the things that I have right now rather than feeling pity for myself or feeling sorry for myself or being mad at myself or disappointed in myself for things that I really can't control. So me moving to Texas was like a big blessing. It was a big thing overall. And I'm learning that nothing has to be perfect for it to work for you. I think that was my biggest obstacle, is learning that things don't have to be perfect for things to work for you. I'm such a perfectionist, and I'm always in people's corner, like people that I really care about. I try to be there, but then I had to realize, like, Pep, you have to be there for just you and your daughter. You're too busy trying to like be there for everybody around you, offer all this love, and you're not getting that love back. Or maybe you're trying to fill that void that you couldn't feel for your mom. So I'm learning as I do shadow work, as I've been through these situations of being homeless and broke and not being able to keep a job, not being able to find a job that could work with my school schedule, going to school. It was just a lot that I had to deal with, and I had to realize, like, Pep, you're doing the right thing, but you're being too hard on yourself. You have to give yourself time to accept was happening. And I wasn't giving myself time. I was always trying to fill a void for other people. Being a people pleaser is one of my biggest. It's so crazy because it's like I'm not a people pleaser, but sometimes I can be. Like, I do what I want to do. Understand? Like, nobody else's personality or words or whatever, nobody else's opinions can really form my opinion or what I want to do. I am a people pleaser because I love to service people and I love to be there for people. But in the same token, I can't be a people pleaser because everybody's not gonna do the same thing for me or be there for me. So I kind of learned the hard way, and I'm glad that I learned the hard way because it's pushed me forward for the next goals and the things that I want to do in my life. But I did finish my schooling. I was able to complete my program with 757 hours, and I graduated January 20th. I will throw in some clips of my week and how my week went. I didn't record a lot of things, but the things that I did record, I will throw in there. And it's going to be kind of all over the place. This is my first YouTube video. But starting from this day forward, taking a leap of faith. So the next few portions of this video are clips from my journey. So please enjoy those clips and be looking for a video from me next week. Okay, YouTube, so today's my graduation day. I got a couple things I want to say before I even get started because I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm high anxiety. Today's a very crazy day. Literally, this is my first YouTube, so y'all have to excuse me. But I'm about to show y'all like a couple different things that's going on today. So I'm doing my best friend's makeup for her graduation. She graduate at 12. I graduate at 3. So I'm just all over the place, y'all. But I wanted to still make my first YouTube video and introduce myself. My name's Pep B. As y'all can see, everybody calls me Pep. Nothing else. I'll tell y'all eventually when I get comfortable what my real name is and the history behind it and everything like that. But for now, I just want to introduce myself. I'm graduating from Aveda Institute of Arts and Sciences. I am officially an SD, and I will be taking my state board soon, which I will also have a review on that. I'm probably add a couple things in just to show y'all how my week was. It was really crazy this week, and I really haven't had a lot of time to record, but I just wanted to get on here and make a video because I have to step outside my comfort zone. I'm not really good with vlogging or like talking to a camera. It's awkward for me, but it's something that I feel like I need to do to kind of get out of my shell with speech and talking to people and networking, because I do have a little bit of stage fright and it really is weird for me. So new things, new beginnings, new year, new goals, and I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna show y'all everything, but yes, let's get to the next step.